Okay, I suppose I want to build on a lot of what Davi O'Morco and others were saying this morning in terms of sparking the imagination, and we're constantly surrounded by all of this information that's readily available. But how do we make sense of it? And more importantly, what are the skills we want to teach children in order for them to make sense of it? So there's a useful quote there: where is all the knowledge we lost with information? Okay, and just with the devices you have, can you find the answers of any of those questions there, please? It's not supposed to be a presentation. I would prefer if it was a workshop. Any of the answers, can you find anything? How would you search for them? Anyone know them off the top of their head? Okay. The ASCAR, go on. Yes, right. You've made an association. Yeah. Right? So very good, Erskine Childress. Okay. Any other ones? I thought it'd be a frantic diving into devices here. That's right. Okay. Right, I'll go through them. Okay. I thought you'd all be diving into it. And what would you have done if the network was good? Good. That's what I was hoping you'd say. Because I think we have become too dependent on Google, and we're only basing our search on almost the first page or two of what's returned. I know you're going to ask me what are the answers. George Lucas got his first job with a film company called the Family Rosary. It was founded by a man called Father Patrick Payton. Where was he from? He's from Athlemass. It's a small village outside Ballina in County Mayo. Erskine Childress, his father was executed for his part in the ASCAR. And this place here is probably the most aptly named place where I grew up. This is called Doonbrishka, the broken port, because it was once part of the mainland. Okay, so what the main point I wanted to get out of that, if the network was good and we did dive into Google, was that sometimes I think we're lost by the convenience of search engines. And what skills are lost? Well, skimming, of scanning, of determining importance, of summarizing. Because if you landed on a site that told you George Lucas's first job, out of it would have come other nuggets of information that you would have skimmed and scanned. Right? But we have to teach children how to do that. We have to show them how to do it. We have to enable them to do it. This was my Google when I was growing up. With a dictionary or a thesaurus, and then for projects, I was lucky enough that we had the Word Book. Now, Sister Martina in 5th class in Ballycastle taught me a hard lesson when she gave me a project on the stove, and she said, "You got that out of a book." And I said, "No, I wrote it myself." "You got it out of a book because everything is spelled in the American way of doing it. And you got it out of the Word Book as well." She was able to tell me the exact paragraph. Another person in my class got away with murder because they got the Encyclopedia Britannica and they were able to write it longer because it was more long-winded. So what are the equivalents today? Because that was the sum total of our searches, whereas everything now is immediately accessible. It's limitless, but yes, can we make sense of it? Can we skim? Can we scan? Can we prioritize? Can we document what we want? This felt like my world, where everything was compartmentalized into physical objects. Knowledge was in a book. I had to write. I had to access things on a globe. Now I can do everything through a screen, if I have to, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. These are my primary sources: journals, newspapers, magazines. If you want a very interesting character, we thought there was a fishmonger in Ballina when I was growing up, and everyone thought he was mad. He had floor-to-ceiling of newspapers. He used to go off to Dublin on weekends and he's gone. When he died, he handed over his entire collection to the state, worth $8 million of historical documents that he had collected over the years. Everything from the feather in Wolfe Tone's cap when he spoke from the dock, one of the originals of the 1916 proclamation. So if you want to go to Google, look up the Jackie Clark Museum in Ballina, County Mayo, of primary sources. Where can we get them now? Well, I think we need to construct, we need to build the skills in the students of today that they can gather their primary sources. They can go to a number of different places, but they critique them. They have to be fussy about the information that they gather as well. We now have a dictionary on demand. Okay, this is a fantastic tool for certain children. They've embedded sound files, and what's more, a dictionary can be added directly to your browser. So take, for example, this one here. This is from the Cambridge online dictionary. Okay, any child can go to it, but they still have to be taught how to get there. They can get the words spoken to them in UK English, which sounds suspiciously Irish, by the way. I think it must be an Irish person got the job. US version of it, what it means, and excellently then, and again the sound files. Delighted to see that folklore.ie has a similar version, and what's more, it has the three main connotations: Connacht, Moon, and Agusola, all Connacht or Fad, and Chapter Nagalia. And the pronunciations, for example, Fungal, okay, you can hear it, Connacht, Moon, Agusola, three different sound files here. So it doesn't matter where in the country you're teaching. So even if you're a Donegal teacher, teaching in Mayo and confusing the natives, at least you can refer them to this. Okay, a fantastic tool. How to search. I suppose that's the core of what I'm trying to get at today. How do we search? How do we critique, scan in the digital world that we're now living in? I suppose for anyone who's just come in the door, what I was trying to introduce is the notion that I think we've become too dependent on Google as our main search. That we need to get more critical and not just be happy with the first page or two of what's returned there. First of all, I think you can introduce the children to a trusted source, where you can teach them search skills. Teach them to reference the source. Where did you get it from? So instead of waiting for Sister Martina to tell you got that from the Word Book, or you got that from Encyclopedia Britannica, be upfront. Tell them, yeah, that's where I got it from. That's what you told me to do. You told me to go out and search for things. I found it, and this is where I got it. And start with one source initially. So what source do I think is important? Well, in Ireland, we can go to Skynet. And remember, every school has free access at home and at school to Britannica School at the moment. And that's being paid for by the department. Go and use it.
Does that include private schools, like Montessori schools, who need a roll number?
Yeah. You don't need a roll number to access this. You just go to the Skynet page, and it's been opened up for Irish IP addresses. So you don't need a login. When it was introduced first, you did need it again. And the search is then at three levels that can be interchanged: foundation, intermediate, and advanced. Now, I'm not saying that every child should be brought into this ecosystem forever. What I'm saying is it's a great place to start search. Why is it? Well, you have age-appropriate resources. You have factual information, which isn't the be-all and end-all, but as a start, it's accompanied by related multimedia and interactivity. So, on a huge number of topics, you have appropriate videos, you have appropriate animations, etc. You have text-to-speech for reluctant readers at all levels. Highlight it, turn on text-to-speech, and you'll read it back. Double-click a word to activate the inbuilt dictionary. Again, you get the meaning. So now you're getting more and more of your tools together. And learn the skills of searching safely. Learn the skills of putting in your keywords. And look at the different results that come back if you use different keywords. And I'm going to try to come out of the presentation for a second and just show you some of the student-safe search engines that I've come across that I think are very, very good. First one is sweetsearch.com. Okay, all sites that it refers to have been approved by teachers. Refseek.com, produced it. It's slightly different in terms of you can get journals as well as the articles themselves. DuckDuckGo.com, okay, doesn't store your previous searches. And the last one I think is probably the most exciting one is Instagrok.com, where your searches are turned as a mind map. So it produces all the keywords, shows them on a mind map, and you can then zone in on them. So what I might try to do is take a look through them, if I can get on here with the browser. Okay. So the first one there is sweetsearch.com. Okay, and you can see that's the interface there. It's been evaluated, so it's a search engine for students. So taking them out of the safety of Britannica, you can now take a look at something like this. So any topic there, well, if we try to look for maybe George Lucas here. Okay. Anyone know the name of the foundation? I just came across this recently. The foundation that he funds for education. Edutopia is George Lucas's, and that's the way the items are brought in. It's not quite as cluttered as a typical Google one. Then we go to the next one, which was RefSeek. Okay, and you say, I want it returned as either web or documents. See here, that's the main difference here. So if I put in Asgard, okay, and go. So that was on that one, and then I can see anything on the documents. And you can see there that I need to refine my search because I only put in Asgard. And you'll know what year that was. It might be 1913. But anyway, it doesn't seem to be returning much there. Okay, yeah, it didn't go back. Anyway, I'll go to the last one, which is the one I really wanted to concentrate on anyway, which is Instagrok. Especially for teachers. Okay, so Instagrok has a totally different interface. I'm not going to sign in, even though I have an account. So if I wanted to learn about, say, horses, instead of it returning as a list, it will return it as a mind map. Okay, and the mind map then has the key facts, websites, videos, images, concepts. Okay. So it makes it an awful lot easier for a child to start making all those links. So instead of just getting a single article, you can see, oh yeah, this is linked to something else. And that's how we learn, that's how we socialize, that's how we start to make the links. What's more then, see up here, you can change the level of difficulty. So if I slide it left, the number of keywords reduces. If I slide it to the right, the number of keywords increases, and it brings me off into different topics then, like equine nutrition, etc. What I think is going to be hugely important for post-primary pupils in particular initially, but also for primary, is in examining how we learn. We should be able to bring these searches back into a journal, and this is what Instagrok has. So once a pupil signs in, they can open up their journal and say, I found this article here about horses. You can copy it and paste it into your journal, and that's your effectively your learning log. 10 minutes. Oh, I'll stay here for ages. I'm nearly doing it again. So, okay. What I will do. So is I have longer than I expected. So I must have gone on a sprint at the start. Is if you try to go to Instagrok with the devices that you have. Okay, and just sign in as a student, which is free. So you have existing users and new users. On the new users one here, will you try to go in as a student initially? And if it's looking for a class, put in CESI 2014. Has anyone managed to log in to CESI 2014?
Username again?
Sorry?
What's the username?
No, you make your own username. Yeah. You make your own username, and then the class code is CESI 2014. Anyone in? Yep. So go into Instagram, then once you're in there, go in and conduct a search. And go to whatever sites that it refers you to afterwards. I don't know whether you've managed to get in or not, or how are you getting on with it?
Hey, it's having problems because I haven't canceled already, but I've forgotten the password.
All right. Create a new student.
Yes.
So if you get into that class, do a search. But what it will do for me is that I will actually be able to see what you're searching. So keep it clean. Okay. But as a teacher, if you have all the children logged into your Instagram account, you can actually see what they're researching. Now, it doesn't give it right down to the word, but it's very site. Okay. So it's a way of not limiting searching, but maybe just keeping an eye on it. Yeah, monitoring. Yeah. It's a bit like I was reading an article yesterday about how can I control everything that the children are accessing? And someone had come back with a 2-eye app. And then the reply was, I can't find it in the App Store. Or what it meant was walking around and looking with your 2 eyes. So sometimes that's what has to be done as well. Okay, is anyone in the class? Okay. Have you done any searches? Okay. So I can see here Angie H is in, Caroline 14, CESI 2014, Anne White, no activity for the last 60 days. Will you get on with it, Anne? Who is on the Logford leader? I think I have him. Where is he? He's checking this. Yeah, there he is. Okay, WordPress. Can you see the level of detail? Okay. And then someone went looking for Downpatrick Head because they couldn't find where Doonbridge there was. Okay, good. Well done. Okay. So what I'll do is come out of that again. Can you see the advantages of that? Can you see how the values are based on what a child might need at a given point in time? So what I might do is, I'm just going to recap. What I was trying to get across today was the convenience of search engines sometimes we may be losing sight of the important skills of skimming, of scanning, of determining importance, and of summarizing. And that's really what we're going to need to be able to do. Because there's a very good quote I came across here from E.O. Wilson that we are drowning in information, but maybe starving in wisdom. The world in the years ahead will be run by synthesizers, people able to put things together, to draw things together, to bring the right information together at the right time, to think critically about it and make important choices wisely. So on that note, just to thank you for your attention. The slides will be available, and best of luck for the rest of the day.